The history of Roadrunners golf is short, but it's prominent.
And the 2015 RMAC Women's Golf Champions with a score of 599, MSU Denver.
In 7 years, the program has won 2 RMAC tournament championships to go along with 4 top 7 finishes. Head coach Stefanie Ferguson came to the program in 2017 to bring on her style of golf to keep the tradition going. Step 1 is always recruiting, and for Coach Ferguson, it's about bringing the right players into her culture-driven program.
For culture, for our team, it's so important that the girls mesh well, so that our players get to meet whatever recruit is coming in, they get to spend time with them one-on-one or as a group and without Maggie and I around. And just that inclusivity and that really the drive, and we want to bring in players that want to get better and want to keep competing, even if golf isn't their goal after college. Just players that want to continue to be the best at their level right now.
In a sport where it's so individually centered, Coach wants to make sure her student athletes have a team-first mindset.
I think culture is a huge thing, and appreciating everyone's diverse backgrounds and where they come from and celebrating that, and then also pushing each other, being competitive, knowing that your teammates can win and helping them find that confidence, but also having that confidence within yourself. I think teams just working together, which again in golf is such a hard thing because you don't really, what you shoot impacts the team, but you know, your own score, you have to play your own ball. So it doesn't matter what Winnie shoots if Kiko shoots it, so it's kind of finding that balance.
Coach Ferguson preaches physical strength and mental strength. To her, the mental side dominates the sport, and she puts her athletes through many exercises to get them prepared.
Being able to control your state and your kind of what you focus on over the shot is such a huge part, and we have so much time in between shots in golf to think. Most sports we just react, playing tennis or softball, whatever it might be, there's a ball coming at you and you react to it. In golf, it's sitting there, so we have lots of time to think through what could go wrong, what could go right. There's a lot of negative things that can pop in, so being able to control all of that is so important, and the players that can do that the best are the players that win week in and week out.
From practice to the weight room, there are many ways the golf team works on the physical side of the sport. But kickboxing might be a surprising way to get these golfers in the right shape.
Physically, kickboxing has a ton of rotational aspects to it, and it's essentially kind of like a sprint, just like a golf swing. So the more we can do those fast motions, get those fast twitch muscles going, the faster we are with our golf swings. So love that, but also kickboxing, it's 45 minutes or an hour-long class, and it's endurance. So mentally, you have to stick with it, and you have to think through different combos and stuff and numbers. So you have to be able to think but be fast at the same time. So I think that helps with golf too. Because that's essentially what we do in our golf swing.
Any number of things can take place on the course during a tournament, but being prepared for those situations can make a world of difference.
I think that's one of the harder things about golf is the way that we practice isn't always very realistic for how we play on the course, because we have different lies, we have different situations. It's really hard to replicate the pressure that we'd see in a competition, but getting them to be able to be aware of something and then putting them under pressure, like today the girls are doing a drill where they have to hit so many shots in a row or they have to start all the way over. So they can end up with one last ball that they have to get in a certain distance from the flag, and if they miss it, they have to start over. So at least it's starting to build a little bit of that pressure so we can see what pops up for them under those circumstances, because fortunately with 5 players and 2 coaches, we can't see every shot that they hit and we can't be with them all the time on course. So just trying to replicate that the best we can.
Whether you win the tournament or have a rough day on the course, Roadrunners Golf is about doing the right things and making the most of your opportunities.
There's always going to be days, and it's every sport, not just golf, where our body doesn't do exactly what we want it to do, and we may have done everything we could do in our control and still didn't post a perfect number or whatever we were looking to do. But what I always ask of the girls is that they stay neutral, factual, positive. They don't get into that negative mindset, and they do their best to minimize mistakes. You're going to make mistakes playing golf. You're going to make bogeys. You're going to make doubles. It happens. But minimizing that and finding something positive to work on after. Ultimately, the score on the scorecard is what wins tournaments. But in practice, we want quality practice. We don't want just banging a bunch of balls just because. I'd rather they spend less time, but really focusing on certain things than just going through the motions.
But what does Roadrunners golf mean to her?
Strong, independent women, and I think hard work is the big thing. I think all these girls are great people. They're really great student athletes. They work really hard, and I think that's super important in golf. You don't have to be the most talented player. You can work hard, and you can make a lot of good things happen. So I think that's the biggest thing.